Today we are covering designing Microsoft Azure infrastructure solutions. To find the complete list of questions and answers, please go to the playlist link provided in the description. Question is, you plan to deploy an Azure SQL database that will store personally identifiable information PII. You need to ensure that only privileged users can view the PII. What should you include in the solution? Option A. Transparent data encryption TDE. Option B. Data discovery and classification. Option C. Dynamic data masking. Option D. Role-based access control RBAC. Correct answer is option D. Next question is, you have an Active Directory forest named contoso.com. You install and configure AD Connect to use password hash synchronization as the single sign-on SSO method. Staging mode is enabled. You review the synchronization results and discover that the Synchronization Service Manager does not display any sync jobs. You need to ensure that the synchronization completes successfully. What should you do? Option A. From Azure PowerShell, run start add sync cycle policy type initial. Option B. Run Azure AD Connect and set the SSO method to pass through authentication. Option C. From Synchronization Service Manager, run a full import. Option D. Run Azure AD Connect and disable staging mode. Correct answer is option D. Next question is, note the question is included in a number of questions that depicts the identical setup. However, every question has a distinctive result. Establish if the solution satisfies the requirements. You are making use of Azure technologies to design a workflow solution. You need to make sure that the Visual Studio can be used to debug the solution. You should make use of logic apps. Does the solution meet the goal? Options are yes or no. Correct answer is no. Next question is, you have an application that is hosted across multiple Azure regions. You need to ensure that users connect automatically to their nearest application host based on network latency. What should you implement? Option A. Azure Application Gateway. Option B. Azure Load Balancer. Option C. Azure Traffic Manager. Option D. Azure Bastion. Correct answer is option C. Next question is, you have an Azure subscription that contains an Azure Log Analytics workspace. You have a resource group that contains 100 virtual machines. The virtual machines run Linux. You need to collect events from the virtual machines to the Log Analytics workspace. Which type of data source should you configure in the workspace? Option A. Syslog. Option B. Linux performance counters. Option C. Custom fields. Correct answer is option A. Next question is, you are developing an application that will enable users to download content from an Azure storage account. The users must only be able to download the content for a period of 7 days. You need to recommend an authentication solution to access the storage account. What should you include in the recommendation? Option A. Shared Access Signature SAS tokens. Option B. Identity-based authentication that uses Active Directory Domain Service ADDS. Option C. Storage Access Key. Option D. Identity-based authentication that uses Azure Active Directory Azure AD. Correct answer is option A. Next question is, you have an Azure SQL database named DB1. You plan to create the following 4 tables in DB1 by using the following code. Okay, we can't provide the coding.